What's going on, y'all? RealChampTalk in the building. Peace to everybody. Had some technical difficulties with the normal link. They're trying to get this done, so you gotta improvise and make things happen a whole nother way. So this is gonna be a special one. Got a special guest coming in. Once we can figure this thing out. Let's see. Especially this is gonna be a special one. This is gonna be a special one. So my real live hoopers, you want to get in on this conversation, jump in. This is gonna be a goodie. Gonna take it back to some '90s ball, some early 2000s basketball. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Got a special guest stopping by. Gonna get these technicalities right. Stay tuned, rock out with me. I know everybody about to get their football Sunday started. You know what I'm saying? Good luck to everybody with their teams and all that. You already know how we rocking them all. The Cowboys versus Giants. Monday night game. You already know how that go. But this is about to be a good basketball talk right here, man. Special guests coming through. I'm gonna sip a little something for this one. So we ain't gonna let nothing stop the show. I gotta get this man on now before you know what I'm saying, he gets started with his season and he gets tied up and busy. So he's got the time now to rock out and do it. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get it done. Bear with me. Bear with me. As soon as the invite's been sent, hold up, let me make sure you're right. All right, so when he clicks on the button, we'll get it going. So meantime, between time before the guest comes, y'all ready? If you see the title put up already, I see who's about to pull up, man. About that Speedy Claxton pull up, man. Hospice finest, head men's basketball coach currently. And we're gonna dig into that history of when he was hooping. You know what I'm saying? How he's slaying cats. We're gonna get into the 2003 championship. We're going to get into them Christ the King stories back in high school. We're going to get into all that. Speedy Claxton will be pulling up shortly, y'all. This is going to be a goodie. I got to bring the pros out, man. This big boy work right here. This is going to be a goodie. I promise y'all. Usually I'm not, and I try to dress in my fly attire for these shows, but it's late night here in Guam. It's like 2-something in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I told Speedy, hey, man, I work around your schedule, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Speedy who's going to pull up any minute, make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So, before we start, I'm going to get into, and that's what I want to get to, Deshaun, too. That's going to be like one of my first, initial questions to kind of like knock it out the box, because Queens likes to try to claim Speedy, you know what I'm saying? But Speedy from the Stead, man. He from Hempstead, man. So Long Island, we gonna claim that one. You know what I mean? Hey, something about that Hempstead water, man. Yo, man, it's been a lot of great ball players come out of Hempstead, man. Just the lineage, it's amazing, man. It's a long list, long laundry list of hoopers and guys that have held it down from Hempstead that has, you know what I'm saying, represent Long Island in the correct manner when it comes to this basketball thing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put Hempstead in the conversation. That's without a doubt. I think you can't even. It's not even debatable that the best basketball players have come out of Hempstead. That's just gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the towns, Westbury, Freeport. You know what I mean? Uniondale, out east. Suffolk County got a lot of hoopers. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the state, man, Hempstead has produced a lot of killers, man. A lot of killers. A lot of killers. Let's get to this Boston Celtics head coach. Get my thoughts on that real quick before the man in the hour taps in. You know what I'm saying? You know, listen, you know, NBA guys be on their Hollywood time. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, taking care of things on a Sunday. Pretty sure the man is busy, but like I said, man, Speedy Claxton about to tap in with your boy in a sec. Boston Celtics head coach, and y'all can share your thoughts. Please chime in. Do I think that deserved a 1-year suspension? No. He should have been fined. He should have been fined. And if you want to suspend him for a couple games, like the first 10 games, all right, cool. But to suspend him for the whole year for hoeing around the office and doing that, I don't really agree with that. The punishment of it, right? But now let's discuss the action of it, bro. Like, you can't fumble the bag like that, bro. It's hard enough for you know, African American coaches to get an opportunity to coach in the league. Udoka got his shot. He put in the groundwork, being an assistant, being a player first, assistant under Greg Popovich tutelage, grinded his way up. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. You got to know where you at. You got to know where you at with that organization, right? So they appoint you to lead the team, and you got a bunch of young guys on your team. You got some older guys too, but these guys look up to you to lead the charge. That's on the court and off the court. You know what I'm saying? So for you to dealing with women within the office, knowing that you got already a situation at home, you just
Yo.
Oh, he pulled up. The man is in the building. Forget that Udoka stuff. We'll deal with that Udoka stuff later. I was getting ready to get into my whole spiel about that, but we got the man at an hour pulling up, Hofstra legend, men's basketball coach, Speedy Claxton. Welcome. Thank you for taking out the time. I know you're a busy man. So, you know what I'm saying? Get to it. You know
All good, my dude. All good.
Film work. I know the season's about to start and all that.
Yes,
First,
sir.
tell us the feeling of you coaching at your alma mater, you getting the program back on track. You guys had a good year last year, knocked off some big dogs, making a little noise. What can we expect from the Hofstra program this upcoming year, man? What you got going on?
Being back is everything for me. Helping to lead a program that I think I helped start means a lot. You know, I think the future is very bright here at Hofstra. I think we'll have a very good year this year coming up. I like our team. I like what we've assembled. Um, you know, with the transfer portal and bringing some young freshmen in. You know, future's bright.
Yeah, man, y'all looking good out there, man. I like what I'm seeing, man. So how's it, you know, in terms of like crew in now, being on the road and, you know what I'm saying, all that goes into it, how you adjusting to all that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was an assistant for a number of years, so I was already used to it. But you know, being the head man in charge, you know, I had the final say and everything. So ultimately, everything falls in my lap. You know, I got to give the go ahead on if I like a kid or not. So you know, it's just more responsibility, but I'm up for the challenge.
All right, man. So big things. We're gonna be on the lookout for this upcoming season, man. So now we're just gonna take it back. I really want to focus on your history and how you came up. Let's set the record straight because we know Queens likes to claim you. You know what I'm saying? Because you played it and all that. But let's set the record straight from right now. You grew up in Hempstead, Long Island, correct?
Yeah, Queens made me. Long Island raised me. I
Okay.
say that.
So we got it from your mouth. So there's no more.
I gotta give props to both.
Okay. Now, take us back to when you grew up. Like, what were some of your early influences? Like, who the guys that you was watching coming up, and like, where did you like first get started like playing basketball and stuff like that?
Well, first and foremost, I really looked up to my man Derek Phelps. He's a guy that you know originally came from the same neighborhood that I grew up in. Originally in Queens, East Elmhurst to be exact, and then he went on to you know so being a kid in that area, that's all you heard was Derek Phelps this, Derek Phelps that. So that's who you strive to be like. And then from there he went to Christ the King, and I followed his same path. And I kind of just wanted to be like him, but you know, he was way better than I was. Cause from Christ the King, he was a McDonald's All-American, and then went on to start at North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So he had a great career, and that was someone I definitely looked up to coming up.
Okay, so early on, so we know, you know, early '90s ball, the era that you come up with, especially when you start getting to your high school, very, very competitive. Like, who were some of the guys like you was trying to like everybody's trying to make a name of themselves? Who were some of the guys that you was like going against like in your early?
Yeah, some of the guys that I was competing against, you know, Shy Holloway, Ed Coda, Kev Morris, my main man Eric Barkley, you know, Jay Tinsley, you know, just to name a few. Steph Marbury, um, Shane God, Skip. You know, back when I was coming up, like guard play was heavy in the city. Like every night you was getting tested.
So like early on for you, was you like matching up against these guys like in IS8 or like you know what I'm saying? Like, what are some of the?
Yeah, everywhere. IS8, AAU when I was playing with the Panthers, in high school at Christ the King. It was kind of all over. You know, but one of the best tournaments, hands down, I believe, was IS8 back in the days. Like Friday nights in IS8 it was live.
Oh yeah, Pete on the mic,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah. Yeah, letting it be known. So, what made you early on? Obviously, you go to Christ the King, so it showed that you was nice as a youngin. Um, what was the decision, the ultimate decision to go to Christ the King?
Well, you
Like, how did you?
know, just because the tradition of basketball was so rich there. You know, they was producing quality talent year in, year out, and they was known for being a basketball powerhouse. And that's ultimately why I chose to go there. You know, I kind of wanted to follow um, some of the greats that came from there.
Mhm. So you played at Christ the King. You did 4 years of varsity there.
Yeah, no, I didn't play 4 years of varsity. I played 2 years of varsity. I actually, not varsity, but I played freshman and JV ball. I took the long route, man.
The long route. You took the long route. Okay, so you took the long route. So you was doing JV ball. So like when you got to your junior year, when the varsity level when it starts getting serious, was like your junior year, like your coming out party, or was it your senior year where you started like wilding on cats?
You know what? it was like midway point of my junior year. At that time, um, myself and Eric Barkley was on the team, and we was kind of like the point guards. Um, but we would split time. Some games he would start, and some games I would start. And then midway through, our two guard Chris Kraft went down with an ankle injury, and Bob Oliva, who was our coach at the time, was kind of forced to start both of us because he really didn't want to decide on who to start between me and Eric because we were both good. So he was just made one start one game and the other start the next game. But then when Chris Kraft went down, he was forced to start both of us, and then we took off from there. Even when Chris came back, he couldn't put him back in the line because we were too good. We were too
Right.
nasty for it.
Yeah. So who was like some of your early on, like who was like the tough, like your tough comp in high school who was like giving you like a run for your money?
Hands down, Steph Marbury. He was a man
Lincoln.
amongst boys. Yeah, when we played against him, it was like, okay, there's levels to this. I see it. I see it. We actually we played them in the state championship, but we scrimmaged them probably like 2 weeks before we played against them upstate. So me and Eric actually we held our own against them. So we was like, all right, cool, whatever. So when we matched up against them in the state championships, I remember first play, he went to rack, boom, 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 caught an N1. And he turned and looked at Eric, he's like, yeah, this ain't no scrimmage. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. I was like, it's gonna be a long night.
That was to be known when he was out there, like in his young high school days. He was talking to Cat Super while he was playing.
Oh yeah, he talked the talk and he definitely walked the walk.
Okay, so high school, you and EB in the backcourt, causing havoc, right? You're making a name for yourself. What are some of the like college interests that you start drawing while you was in high school? Like,
Well, at first, it was like a lot of the local schools, Manhattan, Iona, Hofstra, Stony Brook. Then Ryder came into the picture. And I was actually really leaning towards Ryder, but then they kind of stopped recruiting me. And then probably like the beginning of my senior year, I just went all in with Hofstra. And then I gave a verbal commitment to Hofstra, but I didn't sign my letter of intent. And then I had a crazy senior year, and a lot of big schools started coming in, St. John's, Seton Hall, Georgia Tech, and they all wanted me to, renege on my verbal commitment. But I stayed true to my word. I'm a man of my word, and I believed in Jay Wright, who was the coach at House at the time.
okay, so when did Jay Wright start showing interest in you? Did he start showing interest in you like your junior year?
After my junior year, we actually went to team camp up at Hofstra, and ever since then they took a real liking to me. And every time I turned around, they were at every game I played at.
Right.
Whether it was AAU or just locally, they was there, and that was love.
Mm-hmm. So at high school, you was catching all them bangers and you was doing all that, like.
Yeah, I was a high flyer. I was a high flyer back then, man. It's crazy because when I look back at old footage, I'm like, damn, I was jumping. And now I probably can't even touch the rim right now. It's wild.
You in your season years, man, you paid your dues already. You know what I'm saying? Your knees already paid your dues. All right, so now I want to get into, all right, so you finish up a good high school year, your high school career, did your thing at Christ the King. Now you're going to Hofstra your freshman year. What was that experience like? Freshman experience, your first year. I know you guys went like.
It was definitely an adjustment. I thought I was going to a lower level, so I thought I was going to be able to just come in from day one and have instant, success. But it wasn't like that. I had to catch up to the speed of the college game and the physicality. So it kind of took me I'll probably say midway point of my freshman year to just get used to it. Darius Berman, I got Darius was the point guard at the time, and he wasn't giving up his spot without a fight.
How was those matchups in practice like?
Darius was tough, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I thought I was going to a little house. I was like, I'm about to go ahead and kill him. It was not like that from the start. Like I definitely had to earn my minutes, and Darius was a big help. You know, he was that big brother, that mentor figure, and he definitely helped me along the way.
Okay, so your freshman year, was Posey on that team your freshman year too?
Yeah, Pose was on that team. Pose was a junior my freshman year.
All right, so the mid-90s when Hofstra started, like, you know what I'm saying, building it up, you could see it kind of starting to get
Yeah,
better and going.
my freshman year, I think we ended up being like 12 and 14. We had a decent year, not a great year, but we was making strides. We were better than the year prior. And then my sophomore year, that's when we kind of really took off. I got player of the year, and I kind of solidified that it was my team. And in my junior year, I kind of fell off a little bit. I kind of got caught up into being a college kid and living that college lifestyle, and I lost focus. And in my senior year, I refocused and ended up averaging 23 points, and the rest was history. Got drafted and all that.
Yeah, you went crazy. Crazy. So with your sophomore year, all right, so your freshman, you got that under your belt. What clicked, because you got player of the year your sophomore year, what clicked and kind of made you start, like, taking it up to, like, that next level?
Honestly, confidence. The confidence I had in myself, and the confidence Coach Wright and his staff had in me. They told me I was going to be a star, and they weren't lying. I got into the gym after my freshman year and put in that hard work.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you got in the gym, you start grinding, you start working. So sophomore year, y'all got better. Your junior year, even though your numbers went down, the team, y'all wins went way up, and you was playing with mention like some of your college team, like you
Yeah,
got.
my numbers went down because, man, Coach Ray had this bright idea that it would be better to play me at the two guard for some reason, and I just wasn't a two guard. I needed to. Yeah, I was a scorer, but I needed to have the ball in my hands. Like he wanted to run me off screens and all that type of stuff, and like I couldn't score like that. Like I was a playmaker. I needed to be coming off ball screens and stuff like that. So, you know, every coach makes mistakes.
Right. But y'all had like a little crew that year. Like y'all had Norm Rich, right?
Yeah, Norm was a sophomore. Jay Hernandez was a sophomore. Berto Giddens was a sophomore. Mark Petit was a sophomore. We actually had a real good crew, man. And all those guys, not just myself, they all chose to go to Hofstra where they could have went to the Big East themselves, and that's why we're so good.
Right. So now we get to your sophomore year, you played a year. Junior year, y'all start winning. Your name is getting up there. And I remember my aunt saying, like, before I found out like who you were, she was like, "Yo, I heard of Speedy Claxton go to Hofstra." I was like, "Nah." She said, "Yo, he's 5'10" and he jumps like Dominique Wilkins." I'm like, nah, no way. And then I started tuning in.
That's my jumping ability was probably the first thing everyone noticed when they first saw me play. When they first came to watch me play, like, oh, well, he's very, very athletic. I was freakishly athletic. I mean, I had a 40-inch vert.
Yeah, it was so I remember her saying that, and then I remember, Luha one time in the summer, the Hofstra guys would come up there, and I remember like, the Hofstra crew being out there, and I seen you take off, and I was like, all right.
that was the good old days, man. Luha days.
Now, senior year, right? You was kind of like locally known, like junior year, you was kind of like locally known, making a name for yourself, but like your senior year, you like really kicked it off to the next level, to like where it was like nationally known. Y'all made the Spanish run. Talk about that your senior year, man. How you just went on a tear, man.
My confidence was through the roof. That summer, going into my senior year, I went on a traveling team to Europe. It was the NIT All-Star team, and I played with a lot of like the Big East and ACC guys. So that was kind of like an eye-opening experience for me to play against that kind of talent, because I wasn't used to playing with or against that talent. Being in the house and playing the America East. So I didn't really know how I was going to do there. But when we went and we was playing games, I ended up being the man on the team still. And then that's when I was like, yo, all right, I must be really good at this game. I must
Yeah.
be that really gave me the confidence going into my senior year.
All right. So who was like the more like tough places to play at, like when you were in college? Like what are some like the memorable, like, you know, them hostile environments that was like, yo, man, this is really tough to play in this place?
For me, when I was at Hofstra, it would be Vermont. Like that's the only place in my conference that I did not win at my whole 4 years. I won everywhere else, Delaware, Maine, all that, Hartford, all them places. But Vermont, I never won. And at my during my senior year, I was like, nah, we just beat them by 40 2 weeks ago at Hofstra. So I'm like, there's no way they're gonna beat us. Like it's just not gonna happen. And sure enough, we lost. I'm like, this is crazy. This is the only place that I never won.
Those places that just gave you a hard time, right?
It was just something about that gym. Like their fans were rowdy and they got behind the team, and their players hit every freaking shot.
And then, of course, you know, like your senior year, everybody's gonna give you their best shot because like y'all was wrecking the house y'all senior year.
Oh yeah, I mean that's expected. That comes with the territory. We were ready for that.
Yeah, so talk about that. Your your senior year, your March Madness experience. What was that like being on that stage, getting some national recognition, and bringing?
That was dope because that was the ultimate goal of ours, and it took up until my senior year for us to finally get there. But every step of the way, from my freshman year to my senior year, we got closer and closer and closer, and then finally to get over the hump my senior year and to experience that with those group of guys. I'll never forget it. But to be on that stage and to go against Oklahoma State was everything, man. And to be a part of March Madness, that was something that I will never forget.
March Madness feels different.
Oh, it's definitely different, man. It's a nice experience.
Okay. All right. So now you finish up your senior year strong. Right now it's draft time. What was the draft process? So like, what was some of the scouts saying? Maybe like they wanted to see, or like how was that whole process of getting ready for the draft?
The draft process was fun. I worked out for about 12 teams. I was flying all over the place, but listen, I was about to live out my dreams, so whoever called, I was ready to go. My bags were packed. But I really didn't know where I was going to get drafted. I got lucky and got to skip the PIT, which is the Portsmouth Invitation. I went straight. Back then, they had 3 levels. They had the Portsmouth, then they had then you got, if you played well there, you got invited to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Chicago. So I got to bypass Portsmouth, and went straight to Phoenix. And then I played against the top guards that you would hear that year, the Matt Santangelos, the Scooney Penns, the Ed Coders. And I turned that camp out. Like, I killed it. And that's when I really, really turned heads. And people really started talking about me being like, for not only getting drafted, but being a first rounder. Then from there, I went to Chicago. And, man, I turned Chicago out. Like, I remember that was weird playing because that was a weird environment because you're there, you're playing, and you see like Michael Jordan on the sideline, Larry Bird. It's like, oh my God, I'm about to play against in front of these guys. Like, it was wild, but I killed out there. I remember Michael Jordan saying, like, whispering something to me. He's like, man, you killing out there. I was like, oh my God. MJ just spoke to me like, this is wild.
Confirmation that issue for real.
Right after Chicago, after Chicago came, my agent told me, he's like, yo, you're gonna go in the first round. And I was definitely smiling.
Did you carry that chip on your shoulder in terms of like, yo, I'm from a smaller school? At the time, it wasn't, the mid majors wasn't as popular. Carry that chip.
Absolutely. But that's the way I grew up. I grew up with a chip on my shoulder. Being a smaller guard, I always had to show out when I stepped on the court. But when I was on that stage, nobody even heard of Hofstra. I kind of put Hofstra on the map because once I got drafted, that's when everybody was like, okay, Hofstra. Oh, that's where Speedy went.
Yeah, absolutely. So draft day, talk about that. Like, I remember seeing you on draft day and just seeing you calm and collective in the back of the Escalade playing what was he playing? He
Man,
was playing
I
Dream.
was calm and collective on the outside, but on the inside I wasn't. Man, that was the longest day ever leading up to the draft, man. I just remember kept looking at the clock like, oh my God, man, I got 4 more hours, I got 3 more hours. This is crazy. And then I wasn't lucky enough. I didn't get invited to the draft. So I had a draft party across the street from Hausha at Bogus, this local bar. And actually, it turned out to being a better experience because I got to share that moment with more of my family and more of my friends. So that was dope.
Yeah, so I remember draft day. So the names getting called, right? You go through that whole experience, right? Nerve wracking. I'm pretty sure your phone is blowing up, right? This is the big day. Talk about that feeling, man, when you get your name called, man. Your dream came true. All the hard work that you did.
Man, you talk about goosebumps. Man, it was crazy. Like once David Stern called my name, the place erupted.
20, yeah, we went crazy.
Right? And I was just walking around giving everybody hugs and kisses and pounds. Like it was so dope to share that moment with my family and friends, man.
Right.
I wish, and you know, there was a bunch of news stations, TV cameras there, and I wish that I could find that footage because that would be dope, man. That's something that I wish I.
Has to come up, man. Listen, man, I was a youngster. You know, Darius brought me around. I appreciate you for letting me be a part of that. Cause listen, the night after the draft, after you got drafted, I promise you, I went to that park.
Worked on your game.
Yo, bruh,
I mean, that's
the evening, like, yo, shit. Like, you gave me hope, bro. Like, yo,
that's what it's about, man. When you're able to see somebody that come from where you come from and they made it out, that's motivation in itself.
right. So now, talk about once you get drafted, how fast you go to where it's like you get picked by Philly, like it's like immediately, like you fly to Philly, you start working out, and like how did it like turn for you?
Yeah, that very next morning, they flew me in, and I had to do all that media and have my press conference. I think I had like a 6 o'clock flight. Like I was, and we was partying the night before, so I was dead tired. One of my homeboys came with me, Sammy Martin. So we went to Philly for the day, did all the media requests, and then we came back that night. And I just slept, man. I was so tired. And about a week later, I had to go back out there and start working out and get ready for summer league.
Right. So talk about that summer league coming in as a rookie, right? Philadelphia 76ers. You got Allen Iverson out there. Up and coming, and Larry Brown's the coach, obviously. I know you got hurt your first year. Talk about some of those challenges.
Yeah, even I was just injury plagued my whole career, man. That's why I really don't think the NBA or this, everybody really got a chance to see the real Speedy Claxton play because I was hurt so much, man. I just
Right.
wish I could have had a career where I didn't get injured as much, man, to see how it would have really turned out. But even going into my first summer league, I tweaked my hamstring, so I didn't even get to play my first summer league.
Right.
Because I was
So
hurt.
that out. So how,
And then going into the preseason, I was killing preseason. And then we played Utah. I had got a steal and was going in for a layup, and somebody Quincy Lewis cut me off. So I tried to euro him, and then I guess our knees must have collided or something. And then my knee buckled, and I tore my ACL, so I had to sit out my whole first year, man.
yeah, talk about how, like, what was that process of, what I'm saying, trying to rehab, and it's like, damn, my dreams come true, and now I got to sit here and, like, deal with this.
Yeah, it was, I was bummed because here I am just about to get to live out my dream, and then I have a major setback where I'm not going to be on the court for the whole year. But then it was kind of dope because I got to experience the NBA without actually like playing. So I basically had a courtside seat to every game,
Right.
and that was Allen Iverson's best year of his career. So
Yeah.
I got to see that firsthand.
So how was those battles early on, man? You and AI, man, to talk about it, man.
It was fun, playing against somebody that was your idol. I mean, it's everything. But once you get to practice and you're at that stage, you kind of forget who you idolized and who you grew up being a fan of, and it's just time to compete and hoop.
Right. So Philly, you had a good year. That like I said, you made it to the championship. How was that playing against that? Seeing that, seeing the work ethic and being the winning that took place and all that goes into it. How was that, man?
I mean, yeah, I was used to winning throughout my whole career. I never really was on losing teams, so being on that Philly team and going to the championship was exciting because you just saw and you felt the excitement from the city, from the fans, and that's the first time they went to the championship in a long time, and everybody was riding around with like 76ers flags, and everybody in the city loved us. The city was on fire.
Yeah, man. Y'all,
That was my introduction to the NBA. I'm like, wow, this lifestyle is crazy. Like, the NBA is wow. This is fun.
So how's that adjusting to like like the off the court lifestyle? Like you young, you making money. How's it finding like who's your early who kind of took you under the wing when you was at Philly?
I would say my man Aaron McKee. Once I got hurt, he was one of the guys who, once I was able to kind of move around, he would come pick me up. He would go out to dinner, and I loved him for that because he didn't have to do that, But
Right.
he showed great veteran leadership, and I owe him a lot because he showed me the ropes, man. And we're still good.
Right.
We're still cool today. Whenever I see him out on the road recruiting, it's always love.
Aaron McKee, the veteran, man. Temple University, man. University's finest, man. So, all right, so you got hurt your first year, second year, you back at it, you know what I'm saying? You rehabbed, you got back to it, you started doing your thing a little bit in Philly. Talk about that experience. How was it, like, being back?
I got back, I start in my second year to start the season. A couple of guys were down. So Eric Snow was hurt and AI was hurt. So I started in the backcourt with Aaron. And Aaron was used to being the sixth man because he was actually sixth man of the year the season before when we went to the championship. So we started in the backcourt. And I just remember my very first game, the first game of the season, we played against the Timberwolves at Minnesota. And I had 20. I had 20 points my first game. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I just had 20 points in an NBA game. Like, this is wild. And then the next 4 games, I was killing. The first 5 games, I averaged 20 points. But then it was weird because we were 0-5, and then Larry Brown was killing me in the papers. I'm like, whoa, like, dude, I'm the only person that's doing anything out here. That's what I was saying in my mind, but LB is hard on his point guards. He always have been. He always will be. So I was like, wow, I don't know what to expect from this guy. I don't know what he wants. Like, I'm averaging 20-5 as a rookie.
Yeah. Coming off an injury, too? That's big time, man. So how was Larry Brown? Like, was he tough? Because I remember, like, Stephon Marbury saying, like, yo, LB, he be wilding sometimes. Like, yo, he tell you to do something. You do it.
Yeah, Steph actually told me that before I even played a single game for LB. We played in the wheelchair charities at Nassau Coliseum going into the year. And he's like, yo, Speedy, man. He's like, just watch LB, man. He's tough. Like, he's hard on his guards. He's like, just go out there and play, though. And he's sure enough, he was right. But LB's my man to this day. Like, when I got the head coaching job at Hauser, he actually called me and congratulated me. And I was thankful for that because he definitely had to do that. I don't know why I was on his mind. I don't know he still had my.
So he's like one of them old school coaches who just like it's like tough love. Like he ain't just he gonna make it work.
Definitely wanted the best of me. Even when they traded me to San Antonio, he said that was one of the hardest things he ever had to do.
Right, cause like coming into your own in Philly and we're seeing the potential growing. So talk about that. Like you get to San Antonio, you get traded, you end up on, and now I get to ask you, you know what I'm saying, the questions of like the Greg Popovich, mafioso, San Antonio Spurs, how like your personality, like just how that all blends in, like.
Man, I didn't know what to expect going to San Antonio. You know, I was an East Coast kid. Now I'm about to go live in Texas. This was my first time in Texas. I was like, man, what is going on? What am I about to do out here? But honestly, that was a great experience. That year was very memorable. I wish I could have played more years in San Antonio because that organization they do it right. They do it
Right.
right. You know, going into that year, they had a young Tony Parker. They just traded for myself, and they actually traded for Eric Barkley also. So I was like, I gotta go compete against Tony Parker and Eric. Like this is crazy for some minutes. Like, and I knew how good Eric was, and obviously Tony was coming off a pretty decent rookie year. So I was like, all right, it's gonna be a dogfight. But you know, I was up for the challenge and I was ready for it. And I went out there and I was killing to start the year. I was playing more minutes than Tony. Tony started, but I would come in and I would play most of the minutes. I would play the fourth quarter, which was, you know, the most important minutes. And one game we was playing against Detroit, the Detroit Pistons, and I dove for a loose ball and ended up dislocating my shoulder and and then I had to sit out. I had to have surgery, and then I sat out for 4 months. And that's kind of when Tony Parker became Tony Parker. He started killing, and you know he became a household name. And then when I came back probably around right at the end of the season. So it was probably like April. And you know I thought I was just gonna just jump back right into my minutes that I was playing before I got hurt, but that wasn't the case. Like they were rolling. So Pop was kind of playing me like scrub minutes, like garbage time. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I remember we was playing against Portland one game, and he put me in garbage time, and I went out there and I was just, you know, messing around, just half-assing it. And then he pulled me into his office after the game. He was like, yo, you're better than that. That's not you. Even though, you know, this is your contract year, and everybody's looking at you. You're not just playing for us, you're playing for everybody. And after that, Kevin Willis pulled me into his locker. He was he was like my locker buddy. And he's like, yo, Speedy, you can't do that, man. That's not a good look. You can't play like that. And after that, I got refocused and I was good. And we went into the playoffs, and Pop wanted to win. So he started giving me some minutes, and then you know, everybody know what happened in Game 6. I played most of the minutes in Game 6 and helped us, you know, win the championship.
Right. So y'all went on that playoff run in 2003. Talk about that playoff run. You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan, all of Ginobili. Like, how was that? Greg Popovich. How was he able to just get you guys to just like focus and like move like the mob and just play that brand of basketball?
Pop was a no-nonsense coach. He's going to define your role so you know your role, and then it's up to you to perfect your role. Everybody knows Tim Duncan's team, and Tim was the best player I played with by far. Like that guy was incredible. You just knew if you all we had to do was give Tim the ball, and he was gonna make something happen for himself or for us. It was very easy playing with him. But that team right there, man, like I love that team. We did so much things off the court, and I think it helped us on the court. You know, we would have movie night with, you know, our significant other, whether we have wives or girlfriends, whatever. We would go play paintball. It was cool. We would go bowling. We hung out a lot off the court. I mean, it could have been because it was San Antonio. There wasn't a lot going on there also, but it helped.
Right. All right. So how was that? How tough was it to play against that New Jersey team? Was pretty good, man. That championship you had to win, man. That was a good team.
Jersey was tough, man. They were loaded. You know, J.K. was one of the top point guards at the time. Kenyon Martin was a young and upcoming player. Richard Jefferson was nice. Kerry Kittles was good. You know, they had my guy Dikembe Mutombo in the middle. They were good. You know, it was definitely a hard opponent for us to face in the championship. I think they actually won Game 1, and they had us scared. That definitely opened our eyes that first game.
All right, so you get the chip. What's that feeling like? NBA championship, popping champagne bottles. You know what I'm saying? Contract.
That was dope. that was dope because, you know, growing up and watching the finals, you know, watching Michael Jordan, watching Magic Johnson, watching Isaiah Thomas, and all these guys playing the finals, then to actually experience it firsthand and to be on the court, you know, like that was everything. Like I still watch Game 6 when it comes on, you know, Hardwood Classics, and I'm like, wow, this is
Sure.
crazy. Like I actually was playing in a championship. Like this is dope.
Absolutely. So you got that chip under your belt, popping champagne. So now it's contract year, right? You end up in 2003, 2003 to 2005. You end up in Golden State. You get traded there.
Yeah.
How was you know, Bay Area, man? How's that
I
life
didn't,
out there, man?
I didn't
Life
get
with it.
traded there. I signed a new deal. San Antonio, San Antonio was kind of messing around with Jay Kidd. They wanted to sign Jay Kidd, so they couldn't eat up. They didn't want to re-sign me and eat up cap space because they didn't know how much money they was gonna need for Jay Kidd, and I couldn't really wait around for them. So I signed a new deal with,
2004.
huh?
I said San Antonio was trying to get Jay Kidd in 2004.
Oh yeah, yeah. That summer in 2003, after the championship, they made a major recruiting pitch to him. Like he flew in there and everything, and ultimately he decided to go back to the Nets. But yeah, J. Kidd was almost the Spurs.
That'd have been nasty right there.
Yeah, you would have paired him with Tim Duncan. Oh man, it would have been a lot more championships.
So you get to Golden State, right? What's that? Tell me that experience, man. You get to Golden State. Your role is a little different, right?
At first they said, you know, I was gonna be the starting point guard, and that's why they brought me in. And then, you know, once I signed my contract with them, a couple of weeks later they traded for Nick Van Exel. And I've been in the league long enough to know that whoever makes the most money is gonna play the play the majority of the minutes. So I already knew right from there. I was like, well, they're gonna start him. So I mean, that's out. But if that was the case, I was gonna have to play backup minutes. I would have stayed in San Antonio if I was gonna have to play backup minutes.
Right.
You know, at that time, Golden State wasn't what they are now. They weren't winning like that. Great fan base, but they weren't winning, and that was my first experience of like losing, and
Right.
that wasn't fun at all.
Yeah,
But
because you used to win it. Like you come from Christ the King, winning, you get the hot shot, you
yeah,
go
House was winning,
start
Sixers.
winning.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was first winning. So that was my first look into you know losing organization. It was not fun at all. So my first year we didn't do anything, and then my second year actually and Nick Van Exel hated it. So I think he like forced his way out that second year, and then they hired Eric. No, Musman was there already. So I got a chance to start my second year in Golden State. And I actually killed. Like I was averaging 13 points, 6
Yeah,
assists.
you get 13,
I was hooping.
2005 out there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was hooping out there. So at that point, I started to like it. They was letting me rock. They was letting me hoop. Who wouldn't like it?
Now, how was your relationship with Coach Musselman? How was that?
Muscle's my guy, man. I owe that guy a lot because he gave me the confidence to go out there and play. He's like, yo, Speedy, none of these cats could check you. Like he used to call full low for me and everything. He used to have
Yeah.
me in the post. Like I loved playing for Mus. Loved it. Like
He was like, you know,
we used to start the game, me posting up the opposing point guard, and not just because he knew I could score in the post, but I was able to draw fouls. So
right. Well, you had a mid-range game too, so it's like that's not really far-fetched putting you in the post. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you was getting busy in Golden State. All right. So you go from Golden State, right? And then tell us about that New Orleans experience.
Yeah,
Coach Byron Scott.
I got traded to New Orleans. You know, during that middle of my second year when I was in Golden State, um, and I hated New Orleans. Like this, another losing franchise. They weren't going to the playoffs. So once I got traded there, I kind of just and I was up until that point, I was having, you know, a career year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, man, I'm not playing anymore. And this was like March. I was like, it's only a couple of weeks to the season. So I honestly, I shut it down. I was like, this is whack. So that summer, um, you know, into the draft, that's when they drafted CP3. So now I'm like, oh my God, my contract year, I gotta go up against CP3. So I ain't, you know, being in the NBA, I already knew what time it was, and they was gonna start him, so I was gonna have to come off the bench. But thankfully, I had a great year. I loved playing with CP, and I was runner up to $6 million a year.
And yeah, J.R. Smith was on that team too, right?
Yeah, young J.R. Smith. That was J.R. rookie year. Well, his rookie year when I got traded there, and then that next year was I was his second year.
So how was that for you being like at that point in your career being in New Orleans, right? You've been in the league for a few years. How was that you being like a mentor to like CP3, J.R. Smith, the young guys coming in?
It was fun, you know, to be able to kind of have an impact on those guys' careers, and we're still friendly to this day. I'm sure if people follow me on Instagram, they saw Chris Paul saying some good stuff about me when I saw him at the EYBL tournament this past summer. So it was good to mentor those guys, and you know, they both had great careers, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, man. So how was that playing for Coach Byron Scott, man? What kind
I was
of
cool with
coach
B
was he?
Scott. B Scott let me rock. So I can't be mad at that. Any coach that let me play my game, I love. And B Scott was definitely one of those guys.
Now, that was a tough West he was going up against in that, you know what I'm saying, that 2004, 2005, 05, 06. Talk about this going up against some of them killers, man. The Dirks of the world, C. Webb, Garnett, seeing all
When
these
you're
guys. Like,
when you're in the NBA, there are no nights off. Believe that. Every night you're gonna be going against a killer. Somebody's gonna be able to drop 20, 30, 40 points, 50 points on you. So you gotta come to play every single night when you're in the association, man. That is truly the best of the best, man. Definitely. But this was fun. This was fun, and I gotta run now, man.
all right, yeah. Wrapping it up. You finished up at the ATL, you know what I'm saying? You finished your career, 9-year career. Did your thing, man. Just want to give you props. Thank you for taking the time.
No
We
doubt.
tapping back up with you, you know what I'm saying? Good luck this season, all your hostile stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We get a chance to do it again, man. I appreciate you for taking
Sure.
out the
I
time.
appreciate you, dude. All right, boy.
Appreciate you, bro. All
Easy.
right, man. I'll get at you. All right. All right, folks. Let me see. Y'all still with me? Yep. So I had Speedy pull up, you know what I'm saying? Got through most of what I wanted to get from him. I was getting ready to ask him like who's the toughest guards he kind of went up against, but we'll get to that another time. You know what I'm saying? Busy guy, but yeah, man, I'm gonna keep tapping in with you know what I'm saying the pros that have paved the way and put in work, man. Speedy was one of those guys, man. I got a chance to firsthand witness it, so I'm gonna keep tapping in with some of the people I know, some of the people I don't know. Just gonna keep building it up, man. So I appreciate for everybody rocking out. And keep bringing you more content. Enjoy your football Sunday, man. That's Real Champ Talk, the first live episode. I had to make that happen, man. I couldn't wait for another day. Busy man. He's got a lot going on. I got a lot going on. So I wanted to just tap in and just bring him along, man. And get that content in, man. Just kind of travel down memory lane, man. So be on the lookout for Hofstra University, making noise. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm glad I was able to tap in and get some of that. Yo, J Kidd almost ended up at San Antonio after they lost to them in a chip. That would have been crazy. J Kidd, Tim Duncan, Ginobili. Ooh. Ooh, we. Stay tuned, man. I got more pros pulling up, man. More pros. More Long Island legends. I'm going to start pulling New York City legends. Legends from other states, people that, you know what I'm saying, some notable names, man. I'm pulling them up, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up, you know what I'm saying, if you was watching. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know if you guys want me to do it like this, live. I was going to try to do a YouTube live, but I couldn't get the link going. We just have some, I don't know, Speedy got the old school iPhone. I don't know what's going on. But, you know what I'm saying? I had to get it done this way, but we got it done, man. I'm going to post this up on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Go to YouTube, RealChampTalk podcast, the best basketball conversation. I'm going to start doing some more talks and topics. I'm going to let the, you know what I'm saying, my peoples that I rock with come on the show and just talk and, you know what I'm saying, get their perspective and view on different topics. You know what I'm saying? Like this Adoka situation to Boston, this would have been a real good one, but I ain't going to harp too much on it. But, bro, you can't be nailing joints at the office and coaching. You can't be reckless, man. You got to move. Got to be strategic, man. When you in that position, you got to be strategic, man. You got to be strategic, bro. You can't. It ain't worth it, bro. You got to be about your business, bro. That ain't right, man. Like, you got Nia Long at home, bro. You out here clipping joints in your own office, within your workspace, bro. What do you do? Coaching and going upstairs to the office and pimping? Come on, though. You got to do better than that, man. Come on. That ain't right, bro. Wasn't smart. You're not setting a good example for the young guys who are coming up and looking up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. That ain't a good look, bro. You got to carry yourself. Carry yourself. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect. I'm not here to judge. But you got to carry yourself accordingly, bro. Like, come on, man. You got to know what position you're in, bro. You're the head coach of an NBA team. You can't just be knocking down joints in the office knowing that you signed a contract. Come on, bro. Like, you got to know better, bro. Come on. And he knows better than that. Come on, man. You just can't be moving reckless like that. Like, you just can't let, like, bro, that's reckless. That's reckless. Like I said, you are in charge of, you're the head coach. You're the leader of your team. You're supposed to be setting an example for these younger guys. Hey, be a family man. Don't be out here running around being reckless. You're supposed to be setting that example. And you come from see, that's why I can't give him no excuse, because you come from the Popovich school. You see who I just spoke to? Speedy. Marvin, he didn't even get to, he didn't even want to, listen, he didn't even want to even give up the inside scoop on how San Antonio was just able to just maneuver like that during that time. Just how they just moved like the mafia, bro. They just went about their business and it was just winning championships, bro. Come on, man. We know better. But listen, I'm going to start having more talks, more topics involving people because I want to hear different perspectives and stuff like that. NBA season about to start, so I'm going to start doing a lot more. Please tune in. Log into please subscribe to the channel. That'll definitely help me out a whole lot. Just keep supporting. Stay tuned, man. I'm bringing more basketball players your way, man. We're going to have these talks, man. Legendary guys, man, that put in that work. You know what I mean? That put in that work, man. Stay tuned. I'll get at y'all. Good luck. Enjoy your Sunday football. It's 3 in the morning here in Guam. I don't know what I'm about to do. But I'm about to upload this live to the YouTube channel and get all the technicals done and kick back and pass out. Probably watch the 1 o'clock games. Wake up, try to catch some of these 4 o'clock games. Just keep it moving for the day, man. Cowboys Giants Monday night. Y'all know I will be back on live for that. Me and Scorn gonna have that talk. You heard? Shout out to everybody tuning in. Madhouse Clothing. Go on the website. Follow me. I'll keep posting that information. That's why you got to tune into the YouTube channel. I post all that stuff, the Madhouse gear. Shout out to my cousin Xavier. You know what I'm saying? Doing the damn thing. AirportApparel.com. All that, man. Enjoy. I'll holla at y'all. More coming your way, man. Speedy Claxton. I just brought a pro out. You know what I mean? More pros coming your way. Holla at your boy.